In this part, we have to discuss how to do the problem synthesis of hypothesis. Before doing the problem, first of all, we have to check the sample size is greater than or equal to 30 or less than 30. If it is greater than or equal to 30, we always use ZS. That means the sampling distribution corresponding is normal distribution. Hypothesis testing for population parameters with the large samples. That is, n greater than or equal to 30 is based on the assumption that the population from which samples drawn has a normal distribution. Consequently, the sample distribution of mean x bar is also normal. First of all, hypothesis testing for single population mean. In this case, there are two cases. Population standard deviation sigma is known and population standard deviation sigma is unknown. First of all, we have to discuss with two-tailed test. Let mu naught be the hypothesis value of the population mean mu to be tested. For this, the null and alternative hypotheses for two-tailed tests are defined as Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught whole divided by sigma by root n, where x bar is the sample mean and sigma is the standard population standard deviation and n is the sample size. For a simple example, a sample of 900 members has a mean of 3.4 centimeters. Is the sample from large population of mean 3.25 centimeters and standard deviation 2.67 centimeters. If doing such a type of problem, we have to specify which is sample values, sample parameters and the population parameters. A sample of 900 members, that means which is related to sample, the sample size n is equal to 900 and it has a mean of 3.4 centimeters, that is related to sample, that is x bar is equal to 3.4. Then is the sample from the large population of mean, that is related to population mean. So the value of some assumed value is mu naught is equal to 3.25 and standard deviation, that is corresponding to population, that is sigma is equal to 2.61. Then they are asking about whether it is equal or not equal to 3.25. So in this case, first of all, we have to always take null hypothesis H naught such that mu is equal to 3.25. So in this case, they are asking whether it is not equal to. So we are using a two-tailed alternative, that is H1 such that mu is not equal to 3.25. Nothing is specified, so we have to take alpha is equal to 5% or 0.05. Something is specified, you have to take the value alpha is same I itself. So the statistic Z simply means statistics is a function of the sample values. It is certified, that is Z is equal to, always remember this formula, Z is equal to x bar minus mu naught whole divided by sigma by root n. Substituting the values for x bar and mu naught, we get Z is equal to 3.4, that is the value of x bar, minus mu naught, it is given, that is 3.25, whole divided by sigma, the population standard deviation is given 2.61, whole divided by square root of n, that is equal to 900. For calculating this, we get Z is equal to 1.73. In all testing a hypothesis, we take the modulus value, absolute value, whether it is positive or negative, we take the positive value. That is modulus of Z or absolute value of Z is equal to 1.73. Then already we could discuss the significance level, 5% level of significance. The table value is 1.96. Look at this value, 1.73 is less than 1.96. So we accept the hypothesis. In the second case, population standard deviation is unknown, that is sigma is unknown. In this case, instead of sigma, we can use S, that is the sample standard deviation. The statistic is same, Z is equal to x bar minus mu whole divided by S by square root of n. As a simple example, an insurance agent has claimed that the average age of policyholders who insures through him is less than the average of all agents, which is 330.5 years. A random sample of 100 policyholders who had insured through him gave the following age distribution. That is age 16 to 20, 21 to 25, 26 to 30, 31 to 35, 36 to 40. Number of person 12, 22, 20, 30 and 60. In the last problem, they are directly given x bar and sigma. In this case, they are giving the sample values, that is the frequency distribution is given. So what you have to do is you have to find out the value of x bar and s, because population standard deviation is not given. Test his claim. What is his claim? His claim is that the average age of policyholders who insure through him is less than the average of all agents, which is 30.5 years. So null hypothesis we are already taken, there is no difference. Always take H naught such that mu is equal to 30.5. Then he wants to test H naught such that mu less than 30, which is less than the average, that is 30.5. So in this case, is coming to the left of the sample distribution curve. So we use left Taylor test. So you know the test statistic Z is equal to x bar minus mu by s by square root of n. So first of all, you have to find out x bar. X bar, we are using the numbers are very large, so we are using the shortcut technique. For that purpose, you have to find out the midpoint of age. How to find out? 16 plus 20 all divided by 2, we get 18. 21 plus 25 all divided by 2, we get 23. 26 plus 30 by 2, we get 28. 31 plus 35 by 2, we get 33. 36 plus 40 by 2, we get 38. Frequencies are given. So we take D is equal to, you always use the middle value. Any value you can choose. For simplicity, we always use the middle value. Then its calculation is very easy. D is equal to x bar minus mean value, that is 28, and all divided by 5. There is no need of divide by 5. We can directly use the number. So in this case, numbers are large. For reducing the numbers, we have to divide by a constant 5. So what we get, first of all, we have to find out 12 minus 28 all divided by 20. That is 12 minus 28 is, that is equal to minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1 and 2. And FT you can find out 12 into minus 2, 24. And minus 22, 0, 30 and 32. And D squared you can find out minus 2 the whole squared is 4, minus 1 the whole squared is minus 1 into minus 1, 1, 0, 1 and 2, 2 squared is 4. And FD squared, you have to multiply F into D squared. So the confusion between the student, FD the whole squared is not that. F into D squared, that is 12 into 4, that is equal to 48, 22 into 1, that is equal to 22, 20 into 0, 20. So adding all these, we get sigma FD, that is equal to 16, and sigma FD squared is equal to 164, and sigma F is equal to 100. So for x bar is equal to A plus sigma FD by sigma F into C, that is 28 plus 16 into 5. What is 5? That is C is the class width, that is equal to difference between the lower limit and upper limit is 5, that is 31 minus 35, that's equal to 5, that's equal to 28. Adding all these we get 28.8. And S is equal to square root of FD squared by N minus sigma FD by N the whole squared. Finding this, we get answer is equal to 6.35. Therefore, Z is equal to 28.8 minus 30.5 all divided by 6.35 plus 100. We get answer is, because we are subtracting from smaller value to less value, we get answer is minus 2.681. So whatever it may be, we have to take the absolute value. This is a negative value, we take the absolute value, there is modulus of it, we get answer is equal to 2.681. From the we know already, we have discussed the 5% level of significance. For a single tail test, the tabled value is 1.645. So here the calculated value 2.681 is greater than the tabled value. So the null hypothesis is rejected at 5% level of significance. So insurance agent claim is valid. The second case, we are testing, is there any difference between two population means? In this case also, we have to check whether the sample sizes, first sample size and second spices are greater than or equal to 30. Let two independent random samples of size n1 and n2 be drawn from the first and second population respectively. Then let x1 bar, the sample mean of the first population, x2 bar, the sample mean of the second population. The null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis are h0 such that mu1, the population mean, is equal to population mean, second population mean, h1 such that mu greater than mu2 and h1 such that mu less than mu2. In the first case, two-tailed test and one-tailed test. There are two one-tailed tests. The test statistic is, already we discussed what's the test statistic is a function of the sample values. That is x1 bar is a function, x2 bar another. So z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar minus of mu1 minus mu2 whole divided by square root of sigma 1 squared by n1 and sigma 2 squared by n2. Here sigma 1 is the population standard deviation of the first population. Sigma 2 is the population of the second division. N1 is the sample size of the first population and N2 is the sample size of the second population. Then this is a simple problem. The average hourly age of sample of 150 workers in a plant A was rupees 2.56 with a standard deviation of rupees 1.08. The average hourly age sample of 200 workers in plant B was rupees 2.87 with a standard deviation of rupees 1.28. Can an applicant safely assume that the hourly wages paid by the plant B is higher than that of plant A? So you can look at that. This is related to sample values. So x1 bar is given, n1 is given, n1 is 150 and x1 bar is 2.56 and is related to sample. So s1 is equal to 1.08. Similarly, n2 is given, x2 bar is given, s2 is given. So null hypothesis h0 such that mu1 is equal to mu2. There is no difference. In null hypothesis or VRO, there is no difference between the values. Whatever it may be, the single mean or the two means. So here the second is the question, the alternative, how to choose the alternative. Can an applicant safely assume that the hourly wages paid by the plant B, second plant, are higher than those of plant A? So the plant, so mu1 is the second plant, so we take it as mu2 is the second plant, we take it mu2 is greater than. So alternative hypothesis is h1 such that mu1 less than mu2, that or mu2 is greater than mu1. That is, it is a Lepter-Taylor test. And here you can, who are doing the problem, here the sample size is greater than 30, N2 also greater than 30. So we always use Z test. So the form problem is, what is the test statistic? Z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar minus mu1 minus mu2 by square root of s1 squared by n1 and s2 squared by n2. So substituting the values, here one point you can note that here sigma 1 and sigma 2 are given, that is population standard deviations are for the first population and second population are not given. So instead of sigma 1 and sigma 2, we are using s1 and s2, the sample standard deviation. So Z is equal to, substituting we get answer is equal to minus 2.46. Here also we have to take the absolute value. Here it is negative, we are taking the absolute value, it becomes positive. So 2.46 is the calculated value. So you know at 5% level of significance, the table value is 1.645. So the calculated value 2.46 is greater than the table value. So the null hypothesis is rejected at 5% level of significance. That means hourly wages paid by the plant B is certainly higher than those paid by the plant A. In another example, in a certain factory, there are two independent processes of making the same item. The average weight in a sample of 250 items produced from one process is found to be 120 kilograms with a standard deviation of 12 kilograms, while the corresponding figures a sample of 400 items from the other process are 124 and 40. Obtain the standard error difference between the two sample means. Is this difference significant? Here, compared to last problem, they are asking about is there any difference? That means, so h0 such that first of all we have started with there is no difference. So alternative they are asking is there any difference? So alternative hypothesis you have to take it as h1 such that mu1 is not equal to mu2. Nothing is specified. We take it at phi is equal to 0.05. Already we discussed table value is 1.96 for two Taylor tests. For a single Taylor test, it is 1.645. So Z is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar. By applying the formula we get 1.034, so answer is 3.87. So here also 3.87 is the calculated value. Here table value is 1.645, calculated value is greater than the table value. So the null hypothesis is rejected. Therefore, there is a difference between the mean of the two samples. The second part, so this is corresponding the mean. Is there any difference between the, first of all we discussed, is there any difference between the population mean and sample means? Second we discussed, is there any difference between the two population mean? Now we are the another application of z-test is test of significance for single proportion. Proportion, if x is the number of success in independent trials with the constant probability p of success for each trial, and p is the success and q is the failure, that q is equal to 1 minus p. The statistic is z is equal to small p minus capital P all divided by square root of capital P into capital Q divided by n. Then where p is a sample proportion and apply z-test, we get z is equal to the statistic is p minus p divided by square root of pq by n. For realizing these subjects, we can discuss a simple problem, that is 20 people were attacked by a disease. Only 18 survived. Will you reject the hypothesis that the survival rate, if attacked by this disease, 80% in favor of the hypothesis that it is more at 5% level of significance? 20 people, that is n is equal to 20. So here x, the number of persons who survived after attack by a disease, that is given 18 survived. That's the success rate. And small p, proportion of persons survived in the sample, that is 18. There are totally 20 people, 18 survived. You know the proportion, 18 by 20, that's equal to 0.90. The null hypothesis is p equal. So always we take null hypothesis equal, that is h naught, there is no difference. H naught such that p is equal to 0.5. That is the proportion of persons survived after attack by a disease, the dot is 85%. So alternative is greater than, so if attack is 80% favor of the hypothesis, it is more, it is more. The point here is it is more. In the alternative you have to take h1 such that it is more, that is p greater than 0.85. So we are using right tail alternative. Then statistic z is equal to p minus p divided by square root of pq by n. When applying this, we get the calculated value. So we get the calculated value 0.6333. So whether it is positive or negative, the absolute value there is 0.633. So since the calculated value, you know, at 5% level of significance, you know that alpha is equal to 5% already we taken. So there is 1.96. So calculated value is less than the table value. We accept the hypothesis. Then the second case, test of significance or difference between two proportions. So here this we are considering two proportions. So let x1 and x2 be the number of persons possessing the given attribute A in a random sample of sizes n1 and n2, the two populations respectively. The sample proportions are given by p1 is equal to x1 by n1 and p2 is equal to x2 by n2. Then test static z is equal to p1 minus p2 by square root of pq into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. Then p, how to find out p? P is equal to n1 into small p1 plus n2 plus small p2 all divided by n1 plus p2. And after finding p, we can easily find out q. That is q is equal to 1 minus p. So example, random sample of 400 men and 600 women were attacked whether they would like to have a flyover near their residence. 200 men and 320 women were in the favor of the proposal. Test the hypothesis that proportion of men and women in the favor of the proposal are same. Against they are not equal, are the same and against they are not equal at 5% level of significance. So not the hypothesis, because h not such that there is no difference. P1 is equal to P2. There is no significant difference between the opinions of men and women as far as proposal of flyover is concerned. So let alpha is equal to 5%. So n1 is given 400, n2 is equal to 600, x1 number of men favoring the proposal 200, x2 number of women favoring the proposal 325. So we get proportion of men favoring the proportion, that is p1 is equal to x1 by n1 and p2 is equal to x2 by n2. Then z is equal to p1 minus p2. And p you can find out applying this figure 0.525 and q is equal to 1 minus 0.525, that is 0.475. So z is equal to, applying this formula we get minus 1.269. So we take the absolute value, we get this is negative, we take the absolute value we take is 1.269. So at 5% level of security, you know the table value is 1.96. So calculated value is greater than the less than the table value. So we accept the null hypothesis. And the conclusion is that men and women do not differ significantly as regards proposal of flyover is consent. So these are the two cases we discussed to apply for the ESA test. Or then next we are considering on sample size. What happened? What we have to do when the sample size is less than 30? That in this case, for testing means we are using the t distribution, or this type of test we call it as t test. First, hypothesis testing or population mean with the small samples. When the sample size is small, that is n less than 30. The sample distribution of sample statistics follows students t distribution, and we are using t test. First of all, hypothesis testing for single population mean. The test statistic is t is equal to x bar minus mu all divided by s by square root of n minus 1, where s is the sample standard deviation. The above statistic follows t distribution with the n minus 1 degrees of freedom. This is very important, n minus 1 degrees of freedom. For table values, you have to take n minus 1 degrees of freedom. Here also we are taking their own significant value, 5% or 1% or 2%, depend on the convenience. What is the null hypothesis? That value there is no difference, h naught such that mu is equal to mu naught. The alternatives are three. One is not equal to mu naught, that is two tailed test, and mu less than mu naught, left tailed, and a mu greater than mu naught, that is right tailed test. Example, we are discussing a simple problem. The mean weekly sales of soap bars in departmental stores was 146.3 bars per store. After the advertisement campaign, the mean weekly sales is 22 stores for a typical week increased to 153.7 and showed a standard deviation of 17.2. Was the advertisement campaign, so very important problem, was the advertisement campaign successful? So you can hear that n is equal to 22 and x bar is equal to 153.7 and s is given 17.2. So we are checking whether the mean weekly sales of soap bars in refers to set population, that is h naught such that mu is equal to 146.3. So once the advertisement campaign is successful, that is success means it should be greater than 146.3, which is less than the advertisement is not success. So we have to take the alternative hypothesis h1 such that mu greater than 146.3 is greater than, so we use right tail test. So the statistic is t is equal to x bar minus mu naught by s by square root of n minus 1. So the t is a calculated value we get 9.03. So the table value of is 5% level of significance. Here also we take the absolute value. So answer is 9.03. And from the table you can look at that is 1.72. So here the calculated value is greater than the table value. So we reject the hypothesis. Hence the conclusion is that advertisement was definitely successful in promoting sales. Another example, a random sample of 10 boys had the following IQs: 70, 120, 110, 101, 88, 83, 95, 98, 107 and 100. Do the data support the assumption of a population mean IQ of 100? Here, null hypothesis h naught such that mu is equal to 100, equal or not. So we are taking this not equal, h1 such that mu is not equal to 100. So it's not equal to 100. So we are using two-tailed test. But the statistic is z is equal to x bar minus mu by s by square root of minus 1. So here x bar is not directly given and s is not directly given. So we have to compute it from the data. For that purpose, we have to find x and x squared, and applying the formula we get s is equal to x bar is equal to sigma x by n, that is 972 by 10, that is 97.2, and s is equal to, when applying the formula, sigma x squared by n minus sigma x by n the whole square, we get 97.34. So applying the formula t is equal to x bar minus mu by s by square root of n minus 1, then we get the t is equal to 8.06, beating the absolute value. So answer is same. So table value t at 5% level of significance. For looking the table, you look at this degrees of freedom, that is n minus 1, n is equal to 10, that is 10.9 degrees of freedom. The answer is 2.262. So you can see that the calculated value is greater than the table value. So we reject the null hypothesis. So the population mean is not equal to 100. Then the second part, that is two samples are given. So we have to check the means are equal. Here also the sample size is less than 30. If it is greater than 30, we have to apply z-test. If it is less than 30, we have to apply the t-test. The statistic you have to by heart, t is equal to x1 bar minus x2 bar minus of mu1 minus p2 whole divided by square root of s squared into 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2, where s squared is equal to n1 s1 squared, where s1 is the sample standard is the first sample, and s2 sample size of the first sample, second sample, s2 sample standard is the second sample. It follows a student's distribution with n1 plus n2 degrees of freedom. For example, to test the claim that the resistance of electric wire are not equal by allowing 22 values obtained by each allowed wire and standard deviation standard wire to produce the following results. So mean is given, standard deviation is given, allowed wire and standard wire. So test at 5% level whether or not the claim is substantiated. The null hypothesis, we take it as h0 such that mu1 is equal to mu2. Alternatively, mu1 is not equal to mu2. Then applying the formula, we get t is equal to 0.83 minus 0.083 minus 0.136 square root of this is equal to minus 145.07. So we take the absolute value, that is always positive. So the tablet value we are looking 25 plus n1 plus n2 minus 2, 48 degrees of freedom at level of security is 1 point. Here the calculated value is greater than the table value. So we reject the null hypothesis. So the resistance of two wires are not equal.